Yep.
Yay! Hey guys, welcome to Destiny United and Forever Faithfully Fit team. We are working together today and we're going to bring you an awesome call. But first, we want to go over some announcements and recognition. But stay tuned because we're going to be talking a lot about time management, which I'm pretty sure we all need help with. So, pretty awesome. All right, so headlines. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm super excited about this. Sorry. I just saw that. Available now. Ultimate Portion Fix. I already started mine. I'm super excited about it. Literally, I'm going to tell you this. I thought in my head that they wouldn't, like, I'm not going to learn much about this. I've been using these containers for years, and what could she possibly tell me that I don't already know? And yet, here I am learning from the videos and getting a ton of information. I'm really, really excited about it. So I highly recommend that you guys get it right now and do the certification, because the certification, she's giving us a ton of information for our challengers and for our social media, like to be inviting with. So I highly recommend doing the certification as well. All right, Monday night calls for Destiny United are accountability calls. They're at 8:30. Get on there. It really will help you keep your business on track. It's very, very helpful. March Focus Ultimate Portion Fix launch, which I just talked about. Challenge packs are on sale, $20 off. Certification, really, really cool. If you get into it right now, you'll get into her certification group, like a training group on Facebook, which is really helpful. She has a heart of gold when it comes to helping coaches. Like, it's really cool to listen to her help others. Exclusive test group is going on now. I don't know about you, but I am inviting like crazy, and I'm not even, because it's an exclusive test group, I'm not even giving people an option for the coach account. They just need to have a coach account. So I'm like building my team at the same time. Super awesome. Last summit ticket sale for 2019 event is going on between last week of this month, right? Yeah. I highly recommend checking that out, talking to your coaches, making a list of coaches you can invite. If you don't have your summit ticket yet, you're just crazy. You're crazy. Like, it's really the place to be. It's only once a year. You get to see all the trainers. There's amazing people on stage teaching us how they are making it big time in this company. Like, it's just crazy if you don't go. We get to watch the winner of the challenge, Beachbody Challenge, winning $100,000. Like, you just got to go. 40% off full price 21-day fix 80-day obsession apparel. And then the Success Club. Oh, sorry. If you're going on the Success Club trip, there's a way that you can earn photo ops with the trainers. I think that's it for that page, right? I think we're good. The National Wake Up Call was Autumn herself explaining all about the Ultimate Portion Fix. So if you didn't listen to it, make sure you get on that. Guys, I love the National Wake Up Calls. It keeps me in up to date with everything going on with the business, and I absolutely love listening to other coaches, but this one was really cool because it'll get you up to date with everything going on with Ultimate Portion Fix. All right, this is the fun part, recognition. So get your hands in the air and start clapping for all these awesome people. This is February's leadership board. We have listen to this. Amy, as the top Success Club earner, was at 42 points last month. She really rocked it out. I'm super proud of her. So give her a hand. We also have Lynn for 20. She's like the comeback kid. We have Cassandra at 16. I'm sorry, I'm not able to see the pictures really well, so you might have to help me out here. Amanda at 12, Megan at 12. Who is that? Danielle. Sorry, Danielle. Danielle at 10. So those are our top Success Club earners for February. We have Success Club 5. We have Lynn and Rainey and Charity and Rachel and myself and Taryn and Patricia or Patty. Good job, guys. Super, super exciting. We have a bunch of people on the board, and we have team builders, which are really, really small, but I'm going to try to read it. Amy Peters at 7, Megan at 3, William, which I think is Cassie, at 2, Taryn at 2, Lynn at 2, Rachel at 1, Patty, Patricia, Lynn, Leslie, Katrina, Jennifer, Danielle, Colleen. There's too many people that I can't even see the names. Amanda and Ashley. Woo! So we got top recruiter of Amy, the top coach of the week, Danielle. Great job. Super excited for you. 28 new coaches. And we're also going to recognize a ton of people on the Forever Faithfully Fit team, right? So we got Lindsay Maloney at 38. Dude, that's freaking awesome. Liesl at 22, Kayla at 6, Caitlin, Ariel, Jamie, and Brittany all at 6. You guys are freaking rocking it. Every single number on here is a representation of helping change a person's life. So even though we're just like throwing out numbers, don't forget, this is literally changing people's lives. Their health is the most important thing to them, and that's what we're gifting to them, a way to improve their health. So keep it up, guys. Yay! Super exciting. Okay, so coming up, we're going to talk a lot about time management. We got 2 amazing ladies talking to us tonight. I'm super excited to learn as much as I can. I'm bringing out my notebook. I'm going to ask a ton of questions, ladies, so be ready for me. We have Rainey on the call, who's going to speak second, but I want to just mention Rainey's a 2-star diamond. Liesl, who's coming up next, she's going to be talking to us about showing up, time management. Liesl, I'm pretty sure I found out that you're a new 5-star elite diamond coach. I'm super excited about learning from you.
Well, I'm not a 5-star diamond elite coach. My whole team is. That was a total team effort. So, are you ready for me to jump in?
I am. I just want to try to, I can't see my screen to get the stupid screen share.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. If you want to keep it up, that's totally fine. But yeah, like I mentioned, my team, Forever Faithful Fitness, it was a 2018 elite team, and we are still celebrating, and it was an awesome accomplishment. But we got to keep on trekking on and do it again. So we are all in for that. And tonight, I am so excited to be here to talk to you guys all about time management. So just a little bit about myself. I am rounding out almost 4 years coaching now. This coming June will be, which is kind of far away, but not really in the big picture. This June will be my 4th year coaching. And I started out the business probably like I think every single coach in this business did. Probably to save money, first of all, in your Shakeology. But second of all, as doing another job, as working full-time job. When I started coaching, I was newly engaged, so I was planning a wedding. I was a 4th grade teacher. I was just finishing up my 2nd year teaching at that time. We moved away from our home in Pittsburgh, PA, for my husband to pursue medical school, and I followed along. And I taught for 4 years in Virginia and worked my business as I worked full-time as a teacher. I also, crazy girl, I signed up for my master's in curriculum and instruction a week before I signed up for coaching. So I was doing all the things. And I always say to people, you know what, sister, suck it up, buttercup. Every single one of us, no matter where we are, no matter what we do in our life, whether we are a full-time mom, whether we work in the health profession, whether we're teachers, doctors, whatever the heck you are or what you're doing, or even me as myself now working a full-time coaching job, because I do work this business full-time now, we are all freaking busy. And you can either let that be your excuse every day and sit where you are right now, or you can let it be your reason to work harder every single day and to be smarter and to work smarter, not harder. So little gut check moment because that's what I did every single day. So you see my success as a 5-star diamond elite coach, and that's because every single day I showed up in some way, and some days it was more and some days it was less. But today I'm going to get to, and Rainey is going to talk a lot about those non-negotiables and really prioritizing and all that. But so I don't want to steal her thunder. But I'm going to get us started with a really actionable activity. And I need you, and as a Beachbody coach, I hope and pray this is like right near you, like within reach, that your planner is nearby. And I want you to grab your planner, and I want you to turn to tomorrow in your planner. Okay? So this is what I do every single night. Still, I did it when I worked full time, and I do it to this day, and I could kill my husband right now because he just printed something and it's going to be so annoying and loud. I'm sorry. So anyway, I'm looking at Friday. tomorrow and my day ahead. And so what I do is it's a blank slate. And I love my planner personally because it has an hour by hour. It starts at 6 a.m., which my day starts before then, and it ends at 9 p.m. And what I would do every single day, and I'm going to use when I worked full time as an example because I think it's a little bit more relatable for where a lot of you are. But as a teacher, working full time, I would sit down and think about everything else that was going to happen and was a priority to my day aside from coaching. So no matter what, life is going to come first, kind of like that is. You're going to have to go to your doctor's appointments. You're going to have to, commute to work and all that stuff. You're going to have to do that. So you got to put that stuff in there. You have to be realistic there. So I would start and I would literally think about everything that had to happen in that day first before I even thought about my coaching schedule. And I would sit down and I'd say, okay, and this is crazy, but this is why I was successful. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. every single day. Every single day, 4:30. So you know what? Figure out your wake up time. Are you waking up early? Are you giving yourself, like Rachel Hollis style, are you giving yourself that hour to start your day for yourself first? Are you? Because if you're not, that's a problem. That's a really, really big problem. So schedule in that hour first. So I write it in 4:30 a.m. I'm writing it down right now. You write down your wake up time. And I write down, I literally write in my planner, energize. I drink my energize for 15 minutes. At 4:45 then, I'm writing this down. Start my workout, okay? When I was working full-time, I didn't have time to sit around in the morning. I didn't have time to scroll Facebook. I didn't have time to sit and read my personal development. I have that beautiful luxury now. But when I was working full-time, I did not. So I was up at 4:30, and by 4:45, I was press and play on that workout every day. And I do a manageable workout. I found when I tried to do 80-day obsession and I had to find an hour in my day when I was working full time, it was totally unrealistic and I was defeated and I was rushing and I was losing time, that extra little time to run my business. So I stuck to those 20-minute workouts, Transform 20, it's beautiful, or that 30-minute 21-day fix while I was working full time. It's just what I had to do. So that means at 5:15, I was workout complete. And at that time, then I write from 5:15 to 5:30, I posted my own accountability in my challenge groups and commented and cheered on my challengers. So that is my challenge group time. My challenge group check-in for 15 minutes. I checked in with my challengers in the morning. Then by 5:30, I was in the shower. So showering, and that means also doing my hair, and I write get dressed, like I write everything. And then by 6:15, I was downstairs, I was having breakfast, okay? And I was in my inbox before work, okay? So I took 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, some days, totally a good point. Like dry shampoo could save you 5 minutes. Like, so be smart. Okay. Shower on the weekends, like a meaningful, good, shave your legs kind of shower on the weekend. Okay. So anyway, we're surviving, not always starving, ladies. So then I had to get my butt out of the house. So I had 30 minutes from 6:30 or, 6, whatever. No, 45 minutes I had, like from 6:30 to 7:15 to sit down and clear my inbox. And that cleared my mind so much when I knew I didn't leave anybody hanging. I had great, meaningful time to have conversations with people that might have replied to me after my business hours at night. Sat down, Okay, now here's the thing that I struggled with for a long time. I don't know about you, but when I was especially a new coach, I would hear my phone buzz in my desk and I knew I had a message, and it was from Sally, and she cannot wait to join my challenge group. So I did everything in my power to get my classroom aide in the room so I could run to pee, and I'd sit in the bathroom at work in the teacher room, and I would text her back as quick as I can. And it wasn't meaningful. It was this half-ass message, right? It wasn't intentional. And then she messaged me right back, and I couldn't get right back to her, and then that stressed me out. And when I was on my phone messaging her, I saw my coach had tagged me in this team page post, and I wanted to read it so bad. And then my mind was never like where it needed to be. And I was sporadic. And even like I would try to do challenge group check-ins during lunch hour or like during my prep period. I would try to be like, I don't know, doing this and that, messaging people and on Instagram and all that stuff. And I just found that then at the end of my teaching day, I came home with like 5 times more work than I normally, that I should have. And then what does that mean? I had to come home and do more teaching stuff, and I didn't have time to run my business. So the best thing, guys, I ever did was literally in this planner from 7:15 to 5 o'clock, a big freaking arrow, and I wrote school every single day, school. And I was in full out teacher mode. I was working my full-time job very, very, very intentionally. So during my lunch hour, instead of like not really getting anything done in coaching world, I sat and I graded all those papers while I ate my lunch. And during my prep period, I was standing in there and laminating and cutting everything out and all that crap we do as teachers. And then I came home with nothing, with no extra responsibilities from my 9-to-5 job. And that was like the biggest breakthrough for me for time management. Then when I got home at 5 o'clock, I had to, some nights even more, because if you guys are familiar with the health profession, like my husband sometimes doesn't even get home till 9 o'clock. But I would have a solid, if you look at the schedule, I would write in here like at 7 p.m., Jordan home, and I would shut off when he got home, and we would have our time together. We'd eat dinner and all that stuff. That means from 5 to 7 o'clock, I had 2 beautiful open hours every single night to run my business. And that's when I sat down and I did those non-negotiables that Rainey is about to talk about. And then you kind of wonder, okay, well, when do you fit in? Like, okay, so I know you did your workout. I know you checked in with challengers and stuff like that, but how about that other stuff? Well, I don't sit on team calls live very often, to be really honest. I pick one a week that I'm on live, and that's it. So while I'm showering for that 30 minutes and getting to do my hair, if I feel like it that day, like I'm listening to the team call from last night that I missed. On my drive to work in the morning, I found I needed my like motivational personal development, like my personal development kind. Like I had to find like, okay, what was I struggling with at that time? Was it time management? Maybe I needed to listen to the audio of Eat That Frog, right? Brian Tracy. Maybe I was struggling at that time with confidence. Like You're a Badass is playing in my car over and over and over. So like you find that personal development in the morning to like really frame your day that helped you personally. And then on my drive home, I had another 30-minute commute. So I was, listening to those national wake up calls or other team calls or things like that, like the business building stuff. And it got me into like, it helped me leave teaching mode and get into business building mode. And that's when I would listen to that stuff. And then, Rainey's going to talk about, okay, what do you show up to now? Like now that you've scheduled a day and this looks great and perfect and I have this 5 to 7 p.m. to work, but what happens when it doesn't? And what do you do? And how do you stay on track? So Rainey, you want to pop in now that I've rambled forever?
All right, guys, can you hear me? Everybody thumbs up. Hi, guys. Hi. My name's Rainey, and first I want to thank you so much, Liesl, for sharing with us and just pouring in your passion and your heart and giving us a lot of really great tips and advice and covering mainly those, time management tips with being intentional, being focused, and scheduling your time and having that inventory of your day. So now I'm going to bring my hot mess self into this, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit throw a wrench in the works. And, okay, that's great and all, you scheduled all that time. So what happens when things don't go to plan? So I'm going to cover that. I'm also going to cover a potpourri of just a few different things, add in a pinch of tough love because that's me, and we're going to have some fun. So first I want to quickly introduce myself because I know we got 2 team calls and maybe not everybody knows me. My name's Rainey. I'm a married mom of 3 little girls. I live in Walnutport, Pennsylvania, married to my husband for almost 10 years. We both work in healthcare. I'm a physician assistant. I was working full time for most of the time I was coaching. Up until recently, I was able to cut back my hours to part-time. And I started coaching about 4 years ago. Started with the 21 Day Fix and haven't looked back. So I'm super excited to do this 5-year anniversary edition of 21 Day Fix. I can't wait. And what's the other main points? 2-star, Lifetime's 2-star, have been consistent with Success Club, except for, I believe, 3 months out of 4. So, so consistency is very important to me. And I think that's it. That's it. That's like the main points. I'm trying to be very respectful of your time, and I'm trying to give you guys a lot of meat. So bear with me, okay? You guys ready for some meat? Thumbs up. Yep. Okay, good. You can still hear me. Good. All right. So, so what do you do when you're on Plan B mode, or you're in survival mode? I feel like, honestly, as a busy mom of 3 little girls, I have a 7-year-old and twin 5-year-olds. I feel like, honestly, that's like my life half the time. Is there something always going on? Like somebody's sick, or you know, I'm staying late at work. If you work in healthcare, you're going to really relate to this, because some days you just don't get out on time. You plan to get out on time, but you don't. And then sometimes you're staying an hour late, 2 hours late, because things, you know, you need to shift your focus to things. So that can push into your, you know, planned business time. Or maybe, you know, you're picking up your kid from school unexpectedly. You got like crap ton of snow days recently. How many guys have had snow days with their kids recently? Oh my gosh, these snow days are killing me. And, you know, recently, and this is a little funny, got a call from school because my daughter, she sharted in her pants. So I had to run there and get her a change of clothes. Like, I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up, I swear. So you never know. And I felt really bad for her, by the way. I mean, I felt awful, but she was fine. She was perfectly fine. But anyway, but you never know what's going to happen. So some days are just going to be like that. So I want to just drive this home with you guys. You have to do the fundamentals first. And I repeat this, you have to do the fundamentals first. And the fundamentals in our business, they're the vital behaviors. And also you can, we like to term them, we've heard this come up before, is they're your IPAs, your income producing activities. So when you're in survival, Amanda Steele, she's just like we had a moment. But anyway, but you're doing those income producing activities. Hold on a second, my notes just dropped. So it's not glamorous, it's not necessarily fun, but you need to be doing that. If you're in survival Plan B mode and you're planning to do all the things, you need to then regroup very quickly, refocus, reset your mindset, and really just focus on those vital behaviors. And don't do anything else until you do the vital behaviors. And then sometimes with me, I know sometimes I can't even get to all the vital behaviors. So I would then recommend at that point, just take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting in your own workout. Make sure you're fueling your body with proper nutrition, and just go from there. Sleep on it, get up the next day and start over. And that's where consistency for me matters. I'm not going to be perfect every single day. It's not going to happen. You know, some days I'm going to be at work for 10 to 12 hours and it's not going to happen. But I'm going to wake up the next day and I'm going to go all in. And you're going to reset and refocus, and you can carry over some things from the day before. You just got to move on. That's all you got to do. Don't focus on it. Don't linger on it. Don't let one bad day become 2, then 2 become 3. And then by the end of it, you know, it's going to be a bad week. Like, don't let it become that. You're in control. You're going to make it the decision to make it a good day or a bad day. So just wake up the next day with a new level of focus and just get to work again. So this comes down to, and the quality of a good coach, I think that if you're working full time, you're trying to build a business, you got to be gritty. And again, Liesl, she mentioned this as well, but she got up at 4:30 in the morning. Like, that's insane. Like, I mean, if you're not a morning person, that's like, your mind's blown, right? But sometimes that's all the time you get. For me, that's sometimes I'm staying up late after I put my kids in bed. Like, I just have to. Some days when it doesn't go right and I haven't hit all my benchmarks, I'm staying up late. And this is what you got to do. You just got to make those little shifts, and you got to prioritize. And, you know, sometimes you got to say no. And I'm giving you guys all permission right now. Say no to the things that aren't serving you. Like, we do so many things. We commit to so many things. We want to, for at least you're me, you want to say yes to everybody. You want to say yes to everything. Sometimes you just got to draw the line. But the other day, for example, for me, is my friend wanted to go to IKEA. And she's like, can you drive down with me? I'd like to go. And I was like, sure, why not? You know, I have the day off, which isn't really a day off, but I did. And I'm like, sure, I'll go with you. Well, you know what? I hadn't yet met my business goals. And those are very important to me. And I treat my business as a business, and it's very important. So I just say, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to reschedule. We're going to have a rain day. And it's fine. We're still friends, and the you know, life still goes on. But you got to, like, you know, learn when you're in Plan B, when you're survival mode, when things don't go to plan, you're not quite where you want to be. Sometimes you got to say no to those things. You got to also learn that delegating is very important. And this is where your team comes in. And I want to give you guys all permission as well. You all have permission to ask for help. Okay. I repeat, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It doesn't make you any less of a leader or less of a coach or a person. It means that you're recognizing that that this needs to happen. It means that you're still you're still moving forward with your goals. And I promise you, no one's going to be offended. So don't be afraid to ask for help. and delegate things and see if someone can help you. I want to say this too, and this was impactful for me. When you're in plan B mode, when you're in survival mode, you haven't done everything you need to do. Sometimes you have to strive for just, quality and excellence, but not necessarily perfection. So how many of you guys are perfectionists out there? You think you're a perfectionist? Raise your hand. Anybody? Yeah, I am. I'm actually a grammar Nazi. I could look at a post and I can like edit it and re-edit it and re-edit it and keep going and going. I'll just keep reading it. I'll just keep going over and over again. And next thing you know, 15 minutes has gone by and I'm like, haven't really changed that much, but I haven't posted yet. And there goes 15 minutes of my time. So sometimes you just got to be okay with accepting good and know that good is not the enemy of great, meaning that you can still put out some good content. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be 100%, but it's done. Done is better than not done at all. So just like, I wanted to drive that point home for you guys that are perfectionists and kind of struggling with that, and that might be taking up some of your time. Shifting gears to, I wanted to kind of mention that one thing that's really been helpful for me is something I call Drive Time University. How many of you guys, for a show of hands, you're working full time, you probably have a commute. How many of you guys have a commute that's 10 minutes or longer? Raise your hand. 10 minutes or longer commute. Anybody? No? Okay, good. We got a couple takers here. So, that's the perfect time to squeeze in some of that time where you don't have to be focused necessarily, where you don't have to give 100% of your attention to. For me, that's personal development, and training. I'll listen to the national wake-up calls during that time. I'll listen to team calls during that time. I'm squeezing in every little piece of time that I have. That's a downtime that I have. My commute. I commute 35 minutes to work. So I can bang out a national wake-up call during that time, or listen to a training call during that time. So don't be afraid to use your commute time wisely. There's lots of podcasts available. There's Audible available. And I wanted to just give that a tip to you guys. I used to think that I was like a visual learner, so to speak, or kinetic learner, that I had to actually be doing it or seeing it to take it in. But what I found is that I can take a heck of a lot in just by listening, more than I ever thought I could. So I'm listening to a lot of books on Audible, and I would definitely highly recommend that to you guys if you're not doing it already. That's a really good way to maximize your time. Also, for me, being in healthcare, sometimes I had just power pockets of time. And my tip to you with that is, if you only have 20 minutes of time to kind of do a task, make sure you just focus on that task. Lisa will focus on this as well. If you're all over the place and you're multitasking, which, I used to think that multitasking was a good thing. It's like a badge of honor. Like, I can multitask well. Like, this is awesome. When really all you're doing is just, you're being inefficient. Like, you're able to do a lot of things and kind of switch gears, but you're not being efficient at any one thing. So if you're intentional about one thing at a time and really handling one thing at a time and being intentional about it, you're able to be really more efficient than if you're kind of jumping all over the place and getting distracted. So do your best that you can to shut off distractions, really focus in on things, turn off your notifications, do anything you can to just focus on that one task at hand during your power pockets. Also, a fun little tip for me is I've been making it a game lately, as in, I play little games with myself and have little goals for myself. So one game I'm playing with myself lately is I call it, it's not even like a fun name, so don't even think it's like a fun thing, but it's like, comment, connect, invite. So what I'll do is I'll go into a post that I put on, say, for Facebook, for example, and I'll go into everybody that liked it, loved it, whatever, reacted to it. And I have to, it's like a dare. It's like, you have to either go in and like one of their posts, you have to comment on one of their posts, you have to connect with the person through a direct message, or you have to invite them. And you can set standards for yourself with how many you have to reach in each category, but you can't move on to the next person until you address that person. As in, you can't skip over people and stuff. So that makes you really reach out to people. It makes it a little more fun. Maybe for you, that's something else, but I would recommend to you guys, try to make it more fun. Try to find that fun in coaching again, especially for those of you that have been in the business for more than a year, 2 years. The stuff that was once fun, at least for me, is not like quite as fun. It doesn't have the same feel to it. So you have to kind of create your own fun. You have to create your own games, and that's going to keep you interested and engaged. Even when you have tough, long days at work and you're exhausted, you can play little games with yourself and kind of keep things exciting and going. Also, to set push goals for yourself, and this kind of ties into the fun too. One thing for me that I'm going to be pushing for is this 20-point Success Club photo app on the cruise. I'm going on the cruise. How many of you guys are going on the cruise? Just for show of hands. Anybody? A couple people? So I'm pushing for that just as something, again, fun to strive for, that I don't think I would normally push myself to do, but heck, why not? It's something fun. It's something that that motivates me. So don't be afraid to set those push goals for yourself. And also, let's see, ultimately, and this is my tough love part, ultimately, this is about treating your business like a business. I mean, if I didn't show up to my job, or I left before I saw all of my patients, or I didn't do anything that's a core standard of my job, and I just left and said, whatever, forget it, then I would get fired, or it'd be patient abandonment, or it'd just be bad. So if you kind of change that mindset, if you really want to build a business, if you really want this to, if you treat it like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. And that's kind of always stuck with me. And you got to have that mindset that you're always going to, you're going to set those minimum standards for yourself, and you're going to reach them. And that's goal setting is very important. If you don't have specific goals for yourself and non-negotiables, as in you're going to meet those goals no matter what. I challenge you to do that, whether that's a monthly goal, whether that's a weekly goal, whether it's a daily goal. For many of you guys, that's Success Club 5, maybe Success Club 10. Make that a non-negotiable. Like you're gonna make that goal no matter what, and treat it like it's a job. So I want you guys to make sure you have that mindset in your business as well, and that's gonna push you through in times where things get crazy. And I challenge you to, and this is like cliche, but this is nothing new, but you really have to have a strong why with the business. And if you don't know your why, I challenge you to revisit it. And it may change over time. I've been in this business for 4 years. Your why may change multiple times as you go through this business, and that's okay. But you have to really know what you're working for and why you're working for. For me, it's not just about to, earn that extra income to be able to support my family so that I can safely work part-time and I can spend more time with my family. But to me, it's about something more bigger and more impactful. As a PA, I treat disease, but as a coach, I prevent disease. And if I can help just one person make a difference in their lives, help prevent depression, treat anxiety, if I can help prevent somebody from developing diabetes, or if I can, help extend the quality and quantity of years in their life, then my job is done. And that's very impactful for me. And that's what I have to remember when things are starting to, get crazy and I don't want to work the business because I'm tired from working, my crazy hours at work and I stayed late. I have to remember, like, there's that one person out there that I haven't reached yet. And I just keep that person in mind, like as a visual that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm showing up for, is to really help people and make a difference. And as Liesl said, just to echo off of her, suck it up, Buttercup. And I think that's kind of like the general resounding theme of this call, is that you just have to do it. I mean, a lot of these things probably, guys, you've probably heard before. Am I right? Am I right that you've probably heard a lot of these things we're saying before? But ultimately, it's up to you. You're in the driver's seat, and you just have to do it. It's not, like I said, some of it's not glamorous. It's not easy. And it takes a lot of grit and consistency and resiliency, but you just have to show up. Just show up every day. Even if the day is not perfect, just keep showing up. And if you had a bad day, make it up the next day. But keep showing up consistently over time. This business will reward you over time, and you will change lives, and you will make a big difference. So I think I covered most things. I am sweating profusely, so I'm glad you're not here with me. But we're going to open it up to questions now, and I think I covered it. It's 9 o'clock. Yes, I was right on schedule. Okay, so we're going to open it up now for about 10 minutes of questions if you guys have them, all right? Anybody have any burning questions?
I have a question.
You guys freaking rock. Oh, go ahead, Megan.
Rainey, so you use Power Pockets. How many of them a day do you use to get in your tasks that you have to do every day?
So my schedule has changed consistently. The only thing that's consistent about my schedule in healthcare is that it changes all the time. So my schedule when I started coaching is totally different than my schedule now. And it's changed, and my roles have changed, the location I practice has changed, and it's all changed. So I have to constantly be, and nothing is consistent. My weeks look different all the time. My husband's schedule is different all the time. So it's all over the place. And I literally have to look at what I used to do, and what I still do now is I look at the week, and I kind of get a snapshot of the week first. And then I plug in, like Liesl said, I plug in like what has to be done, like what absolutely has to be done for each day, like showing up to work, doctor's appointments, Mark's schedule, that kind of thing. And then I fill in coaching and the gaps that I have. And a lot of times it is only, you know, in the morning, maybe a half an hour before I go into work. And then maybe it's a half an hour break, you know, while I know that, you know, Mark's taking care of the kids. And or maybe for me recently it's been they'll go to karate, and Mark will take them to karate, and then I'll have like that pocket of time where I could do that. So it really just depends. So, but for me, I think the big takeaway for me is that I'm constantly aware of it and thinking of it, and I'm plugging in as much time as I can. And again, it's not glamorous. It's not like, but I'm literally plugging in as much time I can realistically. And when I'm working, I'm working. And when I'm not, I'm not. And I'm being very intentional about those blocks of time. And then also, you know, just being aware of everyone else's schedule and reassessing throughout the week too. So I have that schedule planned out for the week. I have an idea of when I'm going to plug in my business hours, but then also day by day, sometimes my schedule changes all the time. So I'll have to reassess the night before and see when I can plug in those power pockets. And I'm always aware too of those extra things. I have like a running to-do list. I usually keep it in like the notes section of things that extra things I want to get done. So if I do have a free block of time that opens up, I mean, lunch break in healthcare, I mean, we don't really have a lunch break. But if I happen to have a little bit of downtime, I'll try to pick away at those things that aren't as important. But I always try to prioritize the vital behaviors first. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Go, fellow healthcare worker. And thank you so much, Liesl, for doing this call with me. For high five.
You're welcome. High five. Virtual fives.
Liesl,
you're awesome.
Quick question. Oh, she muted herself.
Sure.
Me?
Yes.
He was talking to me.
Oh, Ashley is.
Oh, hi. Sorry. I couldn't tell. Sorry.
Totally cool. Do you run your own team calls?
I do. At this same time on Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
So it worked perfect. That's why we joined forces, so that we could.
So when you said you do one live call, it's usually your own team.
It's my own. Yeah. That would be it.
I was just
because there's guys, it's like overwhelming. There's literally calls every day that you could be plugged into. So I do it when I'm in the shower, or like, you know, I still go in the car as a full-time coach. Like I gotta go places. So like I go to Target all the time. So I just listen on the way to Target.
Can I ask you another question?
Uh-huh.
At what point did you decide you could go full-time?
I decided I could go full-time when I made it a choice to go full-time. So I, last year, a little backstory of my story, I absolutely hated my teaching job. I did not like the school I was working in. I actually went through an awful period of anxiety and depression because of it. And it was demolishing my marriage. And I knew that I could not do that anymore. Just with being married to a doctor and working full-time as a teacher, like the schedules it wasn't serving us. And I knew I had the coaching opportunity as an outlet to make our life better. And I was actually in a long-term position that ended in May. So it was from September to May. And so I wasn't locked in for a new school year, you know? So I had a really, I don't want to say an easy out, because it was really hard to leave what you thought was once your passion and your career path. Like since I was 5 years old, my whole family told me I would be a teacher because they all were. And that's just what I was. And in May, Jordan and I went on a trip to Europe, and, you know, as glamorous as that was while we were in Europe, we decided, you know what, you have from now when we get home until August, when school starts back up, to prove that you can do this. And I moved my business forward massively, just working for it triple the time. I mean, I put in a lot of work from May to August that year to prove that if I could work this business full time, what kind of income I could produce and what kind of team I could grow. And that was my driving force every day. Like my why got really huge. And that why drove me to working full time as a coach. So that took me though, in perspective, it took me, you know, that was going on, that was over 3 years as coach, working part-time as a part-time coach, to going full-time. So it took me 3 years to get to a place where we were comfortable. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I like trips to Target. So like comfortable to me might look different from other people. But just for us to continue the lifestyle that we were leading, that was where we had to do.
Ashley, was that question secretly for me? I'm like, she works from home. Why is she asking this question? Well,
not only that, but I also want people to know, like, what did, bring you home? And was there a point where, like, financially you were like, you know what, I think I'm at a point where I can make this to work? Because I hear two different schools of thought. Like, okay, you need to make more than what you're making at your job to quit your job. But at the same time, if you're figuring out how much you're making per hour, because when you come home, you can work more. So like, if you could literally, you might not make as much as what you once were before you come home. Does that make sense? Because when you come home, you'll have more time to work it. So I was just wondering where you are.
Yeah, and I think, it's like a personal thing for all of us, like what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with making some sacrifices financially so that you can just work full time as a coach, and then just know that, once you kind of have to take a little bit of a leap. Like at first we were, we were spending a lot less, like in those first couple of months of the fall, because we had to be a little bit more smarter about what we were spending our money on, just because, that's how it goes. Like I did lose a teaching income, like I always had that. We always had that extra. It was almost like Beachbody was our extra for so long, and now Beachbody is our is our meat and bone. I'm not gonna like toot horns, but I make just as much or more as my husband, who's a physician. So, it is like our everything, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, just, it's very personal. It's to what you're comfortable with, that your family's comfortable with, and that's just kind of a choice you have to make. But know that in order to do it, like, you have to do a shit ton of work. It's a lot of hours to get to that point in this business. It's not hard, but it takes you showing up every freaking day. Like I never, from the day when I started coaching to today, like I have never not shown up on my social media. Like Brandy said, like my posts aren't perfect. I sometimes get no likes on them, but I'm there every day. Like, and people know that, and people see I'm legit. Like, okay, that girl works out every single day. That girl eats healthy every single day. Like, but that, I'm real too. I share the real deal too. But, I love tacos, margaritas, but like, you know what I mean? Like I showed up every day. Like that's the end. If you want to do this full time, if you want to really do this, you've got to show up in that way every single day for yourself, for your audience, for your team. So there we go. Yeah, we should get together, Jenna. For sure.
So how difficult was it to transition from a full-time like corporate job to being an at-home, like working from at home? Because my fear is like I'm not going to be disciplined enough, and I'm not.
Yeah. So I'm still struggling with that. I'll be
you are
raw and honest, because I have all day, like I literally am here all day, and coaching is everything. And I actually, I have struggled through it. I've had good times and bad times through that. Like first you kind of struggle with this, like, oh my God, I never leave my house anymore. Like I never interact for real. I interact. It's like weird because you interact with people like, oh my God, like ad nauseum, like so much as a coach, especially when you work full time. Like you literally are talking to people like all day, in some way, shape, or form. But at the same time, you actually didn't have like a real conversation all day, like a human interaction all day. And from going as a teacher who interacted with 25 children all day, it was a big weird. And then also I find like I used to be so much more productive. Like literally I could get so much crap done. I was so motivated when I worked full time. Like I played my timer game. Like I had a timer on, I had 2 hours of work. When that timer went off, I knew I had to go and turn it off. Like, and I was like, I literally worked at massive action. Like I didn't do extra stuff. I never looked at Facebook. Like I don't even know what's on Facebook's feed. Like when I was working full time, I was like in my messages, in my challenge groups, on the people's pages I was interacting with, and that was it. Like I was like so good. Like I was like I'm not tooting my horn, but I was like really good at working my coaching business as also a teacher. And then I had this time and I just like started like moving really slow and like looking at, you know, I still struggle with that. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a big transition. But I also like, I'm working through it. So I try to, like, tomorrow morning, I have a plan. Like, I'm out of this house at 7:30. I'm taking my dog to dog daycare because he also is like insanely annoyed with me being home all the time. So like he's going out of the house, I'm going out of the house, and I'm going to be sitting at Panera Bread by 7:45 tomorrow morning with breakfast and a coffee and working my business. And at noon I'm leaving when all the freaking people come for lunch, and it's like insane in there. I hate that. I hate when all those people come in there, all the old women, like, oh, they drive me crazy. So I'm out of there at noon, and then I'm coming home, and I'm gonna, like, my parents are coming to visit, and I'm going to make my dad cookies, and I'm going to turn off business at noon. Like, and I guarantee you, I get more done between 7:45 and noon tomorrow than I did all week. I promise you. That's just how it goes. So it really serves me well sometimes to get out of my house and have that, like, okay, I have to leave here by noon. Or like I had to have a limit, or you know what, I need to have a scheduled lunch date with a friend on Tuesday so that I am done with my work by noon. Or you know what, I go to like a PIO live class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So like I have to shut it off by 4:00 to get there on time, you know? So like I'm just like finding outlets to get out of the house too, so that I have have other hobbies. Like I have that luxury and that freedom now, so I'm trying to like embrace that. Like I can do other stuff now because I don't have to work all night, you know, teach all day, work all night on Beachbody. So that's what I'm doing. That makes sense.
Okay, so I'll just fail my way through it.
Yeah, you fail forward. I mean, you do, and you literally fail forward. You figure out what works and what doesn't, and you constantly, like, for anybody through this business, like if you are working full time, you're like, okay, you know what, that's not working, that's not serving me anymore. I've gone through so many ebbs and flows in my business. Like you just change it. If something suddenly stops working, you rise to the occasion and you change it. I mean, everything changes. Instagram has changed so much. Facebook has changed so much in my 4 years of coaching. Like, you just have to be okay with that change and go with it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liesl. And
you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Rainey. I did get oh man, I closed it. I did get notes from you guys. And one of the biggest things, Rainey, I got was good is not the enemy of great. I am so bad at just sitting on things forever without actually taking action. So thank you. I really, really, really appreciate that. And Liesl, I appreciate you talking about block scheduling because I can preach it, but that doesn't mean I'm always doing it. So I feel like we always need a reminder.
Guilty too. I'm good at preaching, but I'm not always.
Yeah. Thank you so
We're
much, guys. Amy, you can go ahead and stop recording, and we're going to close.